so many bees. Which one is the best? What about Ivy bee? You don't think so? Maybe digital bee? Have you ever asked these questions? So today I decided to deal with this issue. Let's start with rare bees. Bummer bee. I don't think this bee is awesome, small energy, speed and everything. Bad ability token, but give high bonus is good for blue hives and probably mid game. So I'm gonna place it to C tier, maybe I'll change my mind, I don't know. Brave bee. Do you think it's useless? Me too, but it has high bonus plus 1 bee attack. That's a lot, so I think it's between B tier and C tier. Alright, B tier. Bumblebee. This bee is easy to get, it's a great option for blue hives, but it's bad for red and white hives. 1.1x capacity, it's pretty good, so C tier. Cool bee. I think it's a scam, it's no cool bee. Yeah, this bee gives you blue boost token, by the way very often, but there's a buckle bee, it has much better stats and it's easy to get. Just look at my guardian owl. It looks scary but it's better than cool bees and rat bees, so cool bee is C tier, rat bee the same bee but for red pollen, so it's also C tier. Hasty bee. This is absolute winner among rare bees, because it's easy to get, it gives you a lot of hasty tokens and gives high bonuses crazy, S tier. Looker bee. This bee was insane when it had 50% crit power, but when it has nerfed so now 25%. It's not very good, so B tier. But when this bee had 50% crit power, it was A tier or even S tier. Rascal bee. This bee can be good only for early game. Trash. Last rare bee is Stubborn. Personally I like this bee, probably because I'm noob who can collect every token in the field, but in general this bee gives you a polemark. But this polemark has very small radius, it's like Vector bee but much worse. And give high bonus is kinda interesting. Also this bee is easy to get, so I think it's B tier but the worst. So the best rare bee is Hasty, now Epic bees. Bumblebee. I think it can be only good if you're mid game. C tier. Buckle bee is the same as Cool bee but a bit better, also it has pretty good stats, I think it's low tier bee. Commander bee, it's similar to Looker bee, but in my opinion his little better give high bonus, also one more ability token although it's trash, and much better stats than Looker bee, A tier. Demon bee, when I was mid game I liked this bee, because bomb token and bomb hive bonus, but it was mid game, so now I think it's C tier. Exhausted bee, quite bad statistic but infinity energy, although it's exhausted bee. Yes, never mind. It has token link that is pretty good, C tier. So, Fire bee like Bumblebee, but it has Red Bomb Plus, and Bumblebee has Blue Bomb without Plus. It's strange, but Bumblebee has little better stats than Fire, so personally I think it's C tier. Rusty bee, it's similar to Cool bee, however Rusty bee has worse statistic. I think give one is very insane for blue hives. I don't know, I've never been blue hive, C tier. Wow, there are so many bees on C tier, but almost all mythic and event bees will be more higher than rare and epic bees. So, honey bee, it's very necessary for white hives, but now nobody using this hive. Also, I think 1.5x honey from tokens is good if you early game wanna farm meteor shower. Alright, it's low B tier but better than Bucko and Stubborn bee. Rage bee, it's like Brave bee, also I just realized that Brave bee has better stats than Rage bee, but Rage bee has 2 incredible tokens, so it's high A tier. Riley bee, you have to go to the Bucko. Shocked bee, wow, I didn't even know, but this bee is quite great, it has hasty token and also token link, awesome. Also pretty good give high bonus. Alright, I think it's low A tier. It's also written here that this bee needs to sleep less by 50%. It's useless, but it's interesting. So, the winner on Epic Bees is Rage bee or Commander bee, but I think the winner is Rage bee. Now, let's move to Legendary bees. It's gonna more fascinating. Baby bee. This bee is so unique, cause it can attack, even with big whips or mutations. Also very bad statistic, but it has baby love token. That's insanely strong. It's A tier or S tier, but in my opinion it's low S tier. Also, I think Baby Bee is worse than Hasty Bee. Carpenter Bee, it has 5 attack. Wow, also Pal Mark and Honey Mark with plus. This plus means a larger mark radius. Gives it high bonus kinda trash, so it's A tier. A tier cause awesome tokens and good damage. I think it must be between Rage Bee and Commander Bee. Demon Bee, does anyone remember it? It's very unpopular bee on mid game and end game, but anyway it has 8 attack. Also 2 different tokens and 1 passive bonus. Nobody used red bombs to farm honey, so it's D tier for end game and probably mid game, but if I would be early game I'll place it to A tier. Next, Diamond bee. I never used this bee cause I'm red, but dude, that's awesome, it makes 1000 honey in 4 seconds. Also very great give high bonus and blue boost token, it's pretty useful, and also awesome passive bonus. I'm gonna place it to low S tier. Lion bee, its stats amazes me. This bee has the biggest damage in bee swarm. Hive bonus is quite good, especially for white hives, but its token is trashed, except for early game. I think Lion bee is little worse than Carpenter bee. So, Music bee, it has average stats. Give high bonus is a bit useless, but it has 3 awesome tokens, Melody, Focus and Token Link. So I think it's S tier, but better than Baby bee. Ninja bee, I like it for pretty good stats. Also it gives your bees 5% more speed and haste token, so it's B tier. Try B. Great statistic, give high bonus is quite good. Also interesting passive bonus, so I think it's A tier. Well, the winner among legendary beasts is Music Bee, or Baby, I don't know, but I think music is a little better. Time to Mythic Bees. And the first one is Buoyant Bee. This bee was really amazing before his nerfed, but anyway, Buoyant Bee is still quite awesome. Its stats are quite good. Also there are 3 tokens. Blue Bomb, Inflate Balloons and Surprise Party. Also this bee has passive bonus. Maybe this bee is good for damage Hive? I mean, if you have X100 Balloon Blessing buff, all Buoyant Bees will get X3 attack. So it turns out that Buoyant Bee has 12 attack, that's a lot, but anyway, I think Precious Bee is more useful for damage. So it's absolutely S tier. I think it's more better than Hasty Bee, Fuzzy Bee, and I think all people agree with me that this bee is S tier. If you don't have Fuzzy Hive, you really need to contain 1 to 2 Fuzzy Bees in your Hive, and no matter what color you have. By the way, this bee also has passive bonus, it's pretty good, and if you're gonna read this, you have 2 seconds. Okay, I think this bee is worse than Buoyant Bee. Precise Bee, it has awesome stats, also new type of crit, Super Crit. Precise Bee has only 1 ability token, but that's overpowered. Also passive bonus is excellent for damage, so I think Precise Bee is better than Buoyant Bee, because all hives are using this bee, except blue hives. Spicy Bee, and in my opinion this bee is the worst among all mythic bees, however, pretty good stats and give high bonus. Also this bee can give you rage token, and I'm sure you didn't know about it, but this passive bonus gives 100% move speed and gather speed, but you need to have flame hit, so high A tier. Alright, Tadpole Bee, very bad stats, so much red, but this bee gives you baby love token only if this bee is gifted, also passive gathering bubbles plus, blue boost token and summon frog, so maybe it's better than music bee. Yeah, I think yes. The last mythic is Vector Bee, and I like this number. 16.2 for speed, 45.6 energy and makes 144 honey in 2.72 seconds. By the way, only this bee doesn't have passive bonus, it's sad, so I don't think this bee is very awesome. It's worse than Tadpole Bee, and I think it's worse than Music Bee and Baby Bee. Lowest tier. Well, the best mythic is Precise Bee. Also there are 2 more type of bees, event and common, it's gonna be interesting. Bro, and the very first event bee is Bear Bee, so it's clear that Bear Bee is much better than Precise Bee. Cobalt Bee, wow, 6 attack. Also this bee is popular among mid game. That's all, yes. Blue hives don't use this bee, so it's quite good B tier, and Crimson also. Digital Bee, there's so much information about it. In general, this bee has a lot of new mechanics. Also, this bee is suitable for every hive. Alright, so many people disagree with me, but I think Bear Bee is still better than Digital Bee. Festive Bee, S tier, cause you literally get Festive Bean buff every few minutes. Also, Album Plus, Honey Mark can give you bonus 15% red pollen. Gummy Bee, it's also gonna be S tier, very good convert rate, and this bee gives you so much gumdrops. Also 5% honey per pollen, it's like full nectar. I think it's better than Tadpole Bee. Cotton Bee, wow, I think this is the best stats I've ever seen. So green, so good. Give you bonus 5% instant conversion, that's awesome. Also Haste token, Beamstorm. By the way, if this bee is gifted, all pollen from Beamstorm instantly convert into a honey. That's quite good for mid game. So it's S tier between Festive Bee and Music Bee. Next, Puppy Bee. Bro, you need it only when you upgrade your bees, so it's D tier. Wow, look at this. There are 2 red bees on D tier and 0 blue bees. Alright, Tabby Bee. By the way, this bee on thumbnail of this video, and look at this. Convert amount can up to 1680. Amazing. So this bee has give high bonus 50% crit power. It's like Looker Bee is best, so I'm not sure if this bee is better than Precise Bee. Alright, it's a little worse than Precise Bee. 3 bees left, and next Vicious Bee. So much people think that this bee is the best, because its impair is so good, but I think Vicious Bee is low tier S, because it's not so good as you can imagine. So Windy Bee, and in my mind this bee is kinda overrated. For sure there are so many good stats and abilities, but anyway, this bee is not the best, so it's better than Buoyant Bee but worse than Tabby Bee. Finally, the last bee, and finally because I tired. Basic Bee. There's literally no information, only overpowered give you bonus. 1.2x pollen, it's crazy, but I think it's worse than Bear Bee and Digital Bee, so Basic Bee the 3rd place. And it turns out that Bear Bee the best bee in Bee Swarm Simulator, and Rascal Bee the worst. Please remember it, it's only my opinion, and I'm gonna read your comments with your opinion. Thanks for watching and good luck.